Hey everybody, today I'm going to review Ryobi's P742 18-volt 1 Plus Bluetooth radio. Now this isn't just a Bluetooth radio. If you don't have those capabilities with your phone, they also have an auxiliary input on the side so you can plug your phone directly into this and play music. Or if you want to listen to the regular radio, they also feature an AM/FM tuner built in. Now everything's completely digital, everything's push button, and there's no little knobs or dials to deal with. I want to point out, as far as usability goes, the battery pack on this will last easily 2 full days. And you can also charge your cell phone or your USB device at the same time because they do have a charging USB port on the side. So if I take my lightning cable that came along with my iPhone, plug it right in here and then enable Bluetooth, I can charge my cell phone and listen to internet radio at the exact same time. And it actually charges faster than the phone is going to use the power. So if I'm like, let's say on 25% power, I can plug it in, listen to the radio for a couple hours, and then when I pull my phone off, it's back to a full charge. Here's a closer look at the radio, and under this front portion is going to be the speaker, which is going to be a perforated black metal. All of the green portion you see is going to be a very hard plastic. And then they do have an antenna on the top that's going to fold up and fold down. Now this is not necessary to use when you're on Bluetooth or auxiliary, but this is going to be designed for the AM or FM modes. When you open the box up, what's going to be included is going to be the radio, 2 AAA batteries, as well as the owner's manual. Now these are to actually store the presets as well as the clock, and they will need to be changed out at some point. So they will last for a long time, but it's not a once in a lifetime sort of deal. They are very easy to change. I'm going to show you how to do that next. But do keep in mind, because this is an 18-volt 1 Plus tool, it's going to work with any of the 18-volt 1 Plus batteries. Right now I have a P108 4 amp hour high capacity lithium pack, but it would work just as well on an older NiCad pack, with the only difference really being the runtime. So just keep that in mind. This is a bare tool only. You will need to buy the batteries as well as a charger separately. On the base of the radio, where you install the 1 Plus battery pack, you'll notice this little access port. It's held in place by one Phillips screw. So we can take a standard screwdriver, untwist that, and the entire cover is going to come right off. Now don't worry about losing that screw because it is captive. We'll go ahead and take the 2 batteries that came along with the radio in the box and install them. Now these are AAA, and they're designed to not only keep the presets, but also your clock time when you don't have a 1 Plus battery installed. Once they click into place, take your little access cover, and then using that same screwdriver, just tighten it up until it bottoms out, and you're going to have it fully installed. The display and controls on this are very easy to see and understand, and I want to point out that the clock on this is on at all times. Now that's true whether or not the larger 18-volt 1 Plus battery pack is installed. You can see when we pop it off of there to put it on the charger, our clock and our presets are not going to go anywhere. But if you want to actually use the radio, you do have to install a larger battery pack, because those small batteries that are installed underneath are only to keep those presets going, not to actually play the radio. When we want to turn it on, right here in the top right hand corner is going to be the power button. We can turn that on, and the default mode, the first time you turn it on, is going to be FM. You can switch that over to AM by pressing the mode button once. And for FM or AM mode, they do have an included antenna on the top that's going to fold up to give you better reception. Now if you're using auxiliary or Bluetooth, that's not necessary. And let's say you have an iPod or an older phone without Bluetooth, you can press mode once more, it's going to switch to auxiliary mode, and you'll plug your cable directly in above the USB port and play your music through your phone. When it comes time to actually connect this to your Bluetooth device, there's not even any passwords needed. What you'll want to do is just turn on the unit, press mode until you get over to the Bluetooth section, which is typically going to be your 3rd click. You'll then see the BL flashing. At this point, pull up your phone, go into your settings, and then enable Bluetooth. What you'll do is just look at whatever can be connected. We'll wait until it pops up, which is going to be the Ryobi radio. We'll press on it, and when this says connected, you're going to notice the BL become stationary and stop blinking. So now that it's connected, you can see the Bluetooth is lit up, and that means the two have now been paired. Because my phone and the Ryobi are now connected via Bluetooth, that means that anything I play on here is going to come out of the speaker of the radio. Now, unfortunately, because of copyright issues, I can't play an FM station, an AM station, or even internet radio. However, I can pull up YouTube and play some videos that I've already made. So what we'll do is pull it up to my account. I'll pull up one of the videos and you can see exactly what I'm talking about. It's going to play on the screen, but what you hear is actually coming out of the Ryobi. Now we have a couple different options to pause this. I can go ahead and pause it traditionally like you would on the actual screen itself. But let's say I want to resume play. If I had this sitting on a desk or somebody walked into the room and I wanted to talk to them, I could just as easily press the preset button on the Ryobi. That also acts as a pause or play button. So if we just watch the screen, when I press the play button on the radio, it's going to cause the video to continue to play. Now if I want to pause it, I can press that same button again, and you can see the video has now been paused. On the side of the unit, directly under the auxiliary input port, is going to be a USB port. Now this is for charging only. It's not for playing music through the unit, but you can take your USB charging cable that came with your phone, tablet, or other USB device, plug it right in, and as long as the radio is either on or it has been on in the last 2 hours, this port is going to be activated and it's going to supply power from the larger battery underneath. Now once you turn the radio off, this does automatically kill power to the USB port at the 2 hour mark. So let's say your phone's completely dead and you don't want to listen to the radio. You might have to turn it on, let it charge for 2 hours. It's going to go off and then you may have to turn the radio on again to bring your phone back to a full charge. But it's really just as simple as plugging it in the bottom of your USB device, which in this case is an iPhone 5S. We'll take the USB side, plug it right in, and you can see my phone's going to light up and it's already started to charge. When your phone's done charging, you can wrap the cable up, and rather than having to store this separately, on the back of the unit they do have an expandable little band right here that's really flexible. You can put a very large cable under here, but what I do is just take that USB cable, go ahead and slide it underneath of there, and now everything's held into place. So I keep a separate cable along with the Ryobi at all times, so I can grab this, and when I'm on the go, even if my phone is not fully charged, I know that if I need to bring it back to a full charge, that USB cable is always going to be on hand. Now one other really useful feature is the fact that it is so bottom heavy, meaning that all the weight for the most part is going to be in the battery pack, and the top portion, which is the radio, is going to be very lightweight. I find that this is very important if it's sitting at any sort of an angle or I'm in the vehicle. It does not want to flip over on me even if it's in the center console and I have to slam on the brakes. Now that is also coupled with the fact that these higher capacity lithium packs actually have a rubber overmold ring going around the base that extends below the surface, so you do have that extra gripping ability and it doesn't want to slide around on you. Now one additional feature of that is the fact that you can set this on a nicely finished surface, let's say your kitchen table or even your desk at work, and because the rubber is the only thing that's going to be touching the surface, there's no plastic that's going to scratch anything. Lastly, let's talk about storing the radio when it's not in use. Now Ryobi specifically says do not store the radio with the battery attached, and I think the reason for that is the fact that the radio or other power tools, whether that's Ryobi or any other brand, can drain a battery when they're not being used. And I've had this happen to me many times. You can leave a fully charged battery attached to a drill, for example, come back 3 or 4 days later, or maybe even a week later, and the thing has lost battery power, whether that's 1 bar or drained all the way down. By removing it from the unit, you don't run the risk of draining this, and when you want to use it, your battery packs are always going to be fully charged. So now you've seen Ryobi's P742 18-volt 1+ Bluetooth radio for yourself. Now like I showed you in those clips, it's not just Bluetooth. You can switch between that, auxiliary, AM or FM just by pressing the mode button. And all the buttons on this completely sync up with your phone. So let's say you have your phone nearby but the radio's not nearby. You can move the volume up or down just by pressing the volume button on your phone. And then you can also move the volume up or down by pressing the buttons on this. So everything's in sync with each other, and it really makes it nice when a phone call comes in because the music's automatically going to pause. You can talk to whoever's calling, and then when you hang up, it automatically resumes. Now the last thing I want to point out is the fact that this does have a 3-year warranty on it from Ryobi. So if you ever do have a problem with it, and it's not a matter of you abusing it or dropping it off a roof, they will fix it for you free of charge. If you like this video, please click like. If you like my channel, please click subscribe. And thanks for watching.